Welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival Alpha 10.5, and here we are. We're up on in this foggy night right in the North Pole of the planet, and the reason we're up here is simply because if you watch the previous video, we had a very short day and it was dark most of the time. I mean, I did try and enhance the gamma to make that video look a bit better, but I thought what I'll do in this part, on top of quite a list of things I need to talk about in this video, is show you the contrast between the two poles. And if I go on the map now, you will see that I've now moved the capital vessel from down here up to here. So we're now right on the edge of the, well, you can call it the North Pole. The kind of yellowish circle is effectively a no man's land at the moment where there's nothing in it, and therefore the edge represents the edge of the map. So here we are, we're up on here. Now, if you notice that there's no pathway to here, because one of the best ways to move a capital vessel around the planet, if you're not exploring, and although exploring with a capital vessel that isn't well defended can be a little bit risky, is literally to go up into space and fly over the planet and drop down. The reason for that is, one, you can conserve fuel, because in space you can turn on the auto brake, or turn off the auto brake, sorry, and therefore drift across the top of the planet. Also, because you've got the height, the ship moves faster in space than it does on near the surface, so you can actually make this journey pretty quickly. I mean, I could probably give you an example. If I'd flown across the planet like this, it probably would have taken me 10-15 minutes at least of gameplay. I did the hop from here to here in about less than 5 minutes. So if you want to get around with a capital vessel and you're not exploring, going up and through space is probably the best way to do it. At the moment, this is what can pass for night up on this area here. So if you really want to build a base or something where you want to operate in daylight all the time, staying towards the northern hemisphere is probably one of the best ways to do things. We had a little bit of a bombshell a few days ago when Empyrion announced the what will be in Alpha 10.6, and I mean, there's not a lot of information at the moment. There's no formal patch notes. So what we effectively got in that announcement, which came out more in the form, I mean, I watched Spange's live stream when he was talking about it, because he had access to the closed experimental branch. Now, not too sure at the moment whether that's actually been released into the beta branch. I haven't really looked, because to be honest, I don't really want to get involved in it. I want to carry on with this let's play, and I'll explain what I want to do in a minute. So far there's two features that are definitely going to be in 10.6 and one that's been hinted at, and one I think we're all going to like very much. Another one sounds an interesting new game concept, and the third one is probably going to cause a lot of controversy. So we'll start with the good one. The good one is there's going to be a new HUD, which is going to give us a lot more information when it comes to flying. It looks like there's going to be a boost. So I think playing with the new HUD is going to be pretty interesting, I think. And I'm quite looking forward to using that, although I'll probably end up having to struggle with all the controls like always whenever they change something, because if you're playing the game a long time, you just get into certain habits of doing things. Now, the second one is a concept that was going to be in Alpha 10.5, but they effectively dropped it because of technicalities, and that is the ability of SVs to carry HVs. And to me, that's an interesting concept. It opens up some different potentials for the early start of the game. And then, of course, I'm kind of skating around this. Now, the third one is going to cause a lot of controversy, and that is the introduction of CPU. Now, if any of you are not familiar with what CPU is, if I show you here, now, bit of a warning here, what I'm going to show you is not the final solution. So if you see it, don't think, oh, this is what it's going to be, because it's been around for some time. You find it in stats. If you come down here, you'll see there's a value here called CPU. You can see at the moment the CPU for this ship is 7,500, yet the actual overall CPU is 469,606. Now, the reason they're bringing CPU in is primarily related to multiplayer, and that is the fact that if you ever played multiplayer, well, I have to confess, I've only ever really played it once, and that was a little while ago, and the lag was pretty horrendous. And part of the problem is that people build these very large complex ships which drag down the frame rate very quickly. So what Alien have introduced is this idea, which is CPU, and it literally does mean the pressure on the CPU. Then what's going to happen is every ship's going to have a rating which will be effectively the maximum size or complexity of the ship. And if I hit this here, what you will see if I come into here, now not everything's been given a CPU rating at the moment, but if I can find one, say here, like the RCS here, you can see every item you put into the ship will have a CPU rating, and you can see at the moment you can see it's very clearly that it's broken. One single RCS tier 2 is 1.6 million, and you can see here the rating for the thruster is 13,340. Well, if you look at, if we go back to here, I mean, according to this, we've only got 7,500, but this figure is not correct. So what's going to happen is that there will be building limits on ships. Now, I know this is going to be very controversial, simply because a big proportion, in fact probably the majority of the ships you will find in the workshop, even this SV here, will probably break that limit. And of course, one of the problems if you break that limit is the ship won't be able to take off, so it would be effectively useless. And I know there's going to be a lot of players who are going to be very upset with this. So when 10.6 comes out, expect the same as when Alpha 10 came out. There's bound to be a series of, how can you say, hotfix releases where they adjust balancing and things like that. And what I'm hoping, and this is purely my personal opinion, is that they're going to keep Alpha 10.6 in the beta branch for a little while, give players a chance to play it, take a look at it. I'll probably take a look at it very quickly so that they can spend some time balancing it before they drop it into the stable branch. Now, moving on to the potential effect of this Let's Play. I haven't seen anything in 10.6 yet, and I'm going to say yet because we don't have the full patch notes to really justify starting a new Let's Play. But one thing I do have a great concern about is whether these changes are going to break the current or save games. So I'm a bit worried about that, and that now brings me on. So I'm just going to top up the oxygen a bit. So I'm going through a lot of oxygen very quickly. That now brings me on to what I want to try and do, because we've now got a narrow time slot to push this Let's Play forward a bit. So what I'm going to do is change the schedule a bit to the fact that from now on until 10.6 comes out, this series is going to alternate with No Man's Sky on a day-by-day basis. So what will happen is it'll be one day No Man's Sky, next day Empyrion, and like that, just to try and make as much progress with this Let's Play as possible, because I do really want to build up the toaster here. But at the same time, there's part of me that says if I want to carry on, I can't put on the things I wanted to do. So what I may do is slow up the pace of rebuilding the ship, and we'll focus a bit more on some other elements of gameplay. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Now, I think that's enough of me rambling on about Alpha 10.6. I don't want to get into too much debate, but what I have found is this area here, and it looks almost like there's lava here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to creep in here just to see. Wow, look at that, 150. Okay, so there's like a hot zone on the planet here. And I mean, the reason I landed here is because I saw this from space and I thought, well, this looks like lava. So I had to come down and check it out. Yeah, that's, wow. So if I get in here, that's interesting, because now I'm in the center of it, where you think it'd be the hottest. It's actually, oops. Obviously it's building up. So it's kind of a mixed area. Anyway, back to what we're going to do in this part. Well, in this part, I was going to do some building, but I think what I need to do is that I may need to go back to the starter planet and recover the SV and HV. And if I, oops, I better point at the ship. If I show you here, I don't have much in the way of pentaxid. We've only got barely enough fuel to get back. So what I want to do in this part is get out and do a little bit of ice golem hunting with the SV. But I'm a little bit worried because, again, if any of you are not aware that when you move to these other planets, there's often a patrol vessel around. And what patrol vessels do tend to have is the uncanny ability to kind of vector in on where your base is or your capital vessel is. So what I'm going to do is just give you guys a bit of a tip that if you've got a capital vessel that may be a little bit at risk, one of the best ways to actually protect it for the moment, I'm going to emphasize for the moment, because when Empyrion introduces the new pirate faction, which probably likely will be space-based, this may not be such a safe tactic. And what you effectively do is you bring the ship up into space, and then you can just drop here, and we can just turn the thrusters off because you don't need thrusters. And then, what actually happened is exactly what somebody warned me about in the comments. And that is that they said that when they put the gravity generator on their ship, it actually turned upside down. And that's exactly what it's done. Okay, that's interesting. So we've now got the ship upside down. I've now turned upside down with my view. So what we're going to have to do is retrieve the gravity generator and see if we can put it down somewhere else. Let me just, probably the easiest way to do this will be to I think probably the best way to do this is if I take up a couple of these plates here. That will get rid of the half block. And what we can do then is put a gravity generator there. Yeah, interesting concept. Big thank you to the person who left me that comment. Apologies I can't remember your name because I wasn't expecting it to happen. Anyway, what we're going to do is jump in the ship and level off again. And hopefully this time when we jump up, we will be the right way round. So there's a little bit of a tip there, guys. Actually, we need some. I've got food in the SV. We've got the. I don't think. Yeah, we've got no oxygen in the ship. So we're okay. And what I want to do is we're going to leave the capital vessel up here in space. We're going to then jump into the SV. I just want to make sure, actually, yeah, there's one thing I do want to check, because I was tidying the toaster, the loot lister up, and I've suddenly realised I've got a bit too carried away in the sense that I pulled out probably a lot more resources than I should have done. So what I'm going to do is just put some steel plates back in here. I think all I need is, and the other thing I also need is some logs and some, I can't remember what I need for ammunition, because I don't really want to go down here. So we need steel plates, nitro, cellulose. In fact, I'll probably take more steel plates with me, because what I want to do is go down. Why did that go back to that? Yeah, I think we'll take the whole lot, but I'm not going to take everything else. All I want to do is take enough with me. We got copper, steel plates, some promethium in case I need to make fuel cells. I think I've actually made some fuel cells as well. Yeah, there we are. We're going to hook out some fuel cells just in case, because as I say, what I want to do in this part is we're going to go down and effectively do a bit more exploration. Whoops. And effectively what we're going to be doing is hunting golems, because golems have pentactid unless there's some way we can find anything on the planet here. And hopefully the CV will quite happily sit up in space be nice and safe. It won't get attacked by random drones or patrol vessel. And I need some food. And we're just gonna lift there. Yeah, we got some food here. I better pump out some more. We've got some waffles here. We might as well eat that as well. We're just gonna drop down. Right, so I'm coming right down on Xerax territory. Thank you, game. Right, let's just kind of try and inch away a little bit. I would like to shoot some drones down as well, but at the same time, I don't really want to mix it up too much with Xerax, because this ship here, so where are we? Right, so it looks almost like the Xerax territory. I'm not sure what this could be, so we're going to check it out. Right. You can see we're still in the night at the moment, so and I say this is one of the advantages of operating in the northern part of the planet is the invisibility. What on earth is that? I think that's whatever that is. That's interesting. It's right, an industrial fuel depot. I've never ever seen one of those before. The trouble is it? Will it? Wow! Look at all those drones, and it's got weapons. Rise and fly. Yep. I was just about to say, well, maybe I can sneak in and attack it, but it's got no weapons. But and it got a couple of hard hits on my rear. Right, let's just... Right, it's saying there's something to the south and east. Right, we found Promethium, a medium deposit. We've got loads of Promethium at the moment. And we've got Cobalt here. And there's a drone. Okay. Well, we're certainly going to be... Haha! One advantage with this ship is that it is agile for that, being able to duck away. I mean, I managed to duck the first one. Actually, I've probably got the boosters on, yeah. And the ship is empty. Yeah, so that's what's causing that problem. Okay. I'm coming back for a return match after that. The ability to dodge and maneuver fast when you're coming in. This is also very useful when you attack the bases. So in some ways, it's a bit like modern jets, that they're actually made to be inherently unstable, so that they can move very quickly. That's the reason why a lot of modern jets can only be flown with computer systems. Aircraft, say circa the Second World War, were actually meant to fly stably, and to a certain degree, if you are wanting to build a combat SV, what you're actually looking for is an unstable craft, a craft that you can flip very quickly, and that is a concept I would like to look at eventually. Well, we got a little bit of fuel and all that, and I suppose what I'd better do is we took a couple of hits. So I don't want to retrieve the blocks. Yeah, look, we took a little bit of a whack on the front here. So we just make sure, because this ship is not armored, we also took a little bit of a whack on the bottom, on the back here. Just have a quick once over here. Okay, fine. Right, I think we can go south now. I'd say what I'm really looking for is ice golems. Now, during that a little bit of excitement of the battle, you can see that the day is now rolled over, and we've now got 16 minutes of daylight up here. So again, it's an example of how life can be a little bit easier up here. Now, what I will... Oops. Yeah, I can see... Gotcha. But what I will say is that if you want to build a base up here, be aware that the lower angle of the sun, like that, you can see the angle of the sun. This is about as high as the sun will get during the day. In fact, it might get a little bit higher. But what you will find is that the low angle of the sun reduces the efficiency of your solar panels. So if you want a really efficient base, you really need to build it kind of round the equator of the planet. Is probably the best way to describe it. Right, let's go looking for ice golems. That's what I really want. Probably won't find any up here, so I think if we go south, let's see if we can find. If we go slow and take our time, because at the moment, until I can find a pentaxid deposit or a radioactive area, ice golems seem to be the only real source of pentaxid. I mean, the alternative is to go to the moon, but I thought because of that long intro I made with respect to Alpha 10.6, I thought I would just spend a little bit of time exploring and seeing how we go. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're just going to fly across the planet. If nothing happens, I'll just edit those bits out. Drone, it's like this one's got a large minigun drone on it, which will be okay. So we're just going to, and what we're going to do is use a rapid approach to engage and pin him. Definitely going to need to get some rockets on this ship, but at the same time, part of me says that if I'm going to put rockets on a ship, it really should be the SV that I've got back on the starter planet. Gotcha. Of course, another advantage of doing this is that I should pile up quite a lot of XP and resources, so we're just going to fly in here. Okay, harvest. Yeah, we got a couple of flux cores and some fusion cores. And I suppose I can get lunch as well while I'm at it. There we go. I must admit, I do really need to work a little bit on getting a farm up and running, and well, and also so we got a bit more variety with food as well. So I'm just gonna get the arachnids. I mean, there's one thing I would like. I mean, I will maybe check the scenarios, but I always fancied starting on a cold planet. I mean, you can start on a barren planet. I was saying I haven't done. I think it was Alpha 8. I think was the last time I started on a barren planet. Because the barren planet start was quite interesting because you actually started with a patrol vessel. Anyway, we're going to go back on patrol here. Just keep going south and west for the moment to see what we can find. Okay, a little bit of an update. I've come all the way down round through here. Looks like we're on the edge of Polaris territory there, so we can swing in and check that out. And at the moment, I'm not finding anything. I'm certainly not finding any ice golems. So, my grand plan for getting some pentaxid seems to have come a little bit unstuck. But what I do want to do is check out. Right, we found an iron deposit right on the edge. I mean, I doubt if it's defended, but we'll go and check it out. So we'll just fly this way. No. What we're going to do now is go south. We're going to go and see what the Polaris is. I'm presuming whatever it is in this direction. So we're just going to fly. Yeah, we're in Polaris territory now. It's not a very big area, so I'm assuming it will be just a single base or something. What I would really like is a trading station, because what I've actually done is, just to show you, if I go to the loot lifter. Oh, it's here already. What am I on about? Back to player. You can see I've sorted out some stuff that I can sell off which I don't need. And we got the cash, we got some duplicate boosts, got one set of medium armor, we got some multi-tools and various other weapons down here as well. So if I can find a trading station. Now this is a civil HUD. Now if I remember correctly, although this looks very different from what it was before, but I'm pretty sure a civil HUD had a trading station in it. So what we're going to do is go and check it out. And what we should be able to do is plan. Wow, we found another crashed capital vessel as well. That could be useful. Oops. I think we can. Oops, I just got hooked on there. Yeah, this is obviously being rebuilt because it's a little bit different from what it was before. I'm going to come here. I'm just going to put the multi-tool away. So let's just have a little bit around this. And this is the front end. Oops. Now, one of these, I'm pretty sure used to be a trading station, but and of course this used to be a great. This is a power station. I think the trading station may be in here if we can find the entrance. Okay. What we will be able to do is get an oxygen top up from here. Okay. Nope. Got the armor locker, but yeah, I'm sure there used to be a trading. You could do some trading in here, but we'll just continue the tour. CNC. This is the command center, and of course we got a mid bay in here. You used to be able to heal up in here as well. And, I mean, there's lots of good loot in here if you want to take a Polaris base down. These look slightly different, and again you could get food in here. But these are just dwellings. Okay, it's not as going to be as useful as I thought it was going to be. Never mind. That was a quick tour of that, and I'm just going to jump back into the ship and go back on. Some fuel. Got a little bit of fuel back in the ship, and we'll thrust this back on. Oops. Right, we're going to go south and west in our quest for golems. I suppose. Oops. Wow. Okay, right, they're guarding that crash ship there. Only stumbled onto those by accident. There's a second one there, but I can't see him. Oh, slow down, slow down. Right, let's just see if we can get them silhouetted. Or actually, I'm not going to bother with them. Because I think that is, I mean, just have a quick check on the map. Crash capital vessel, I think that is virtually exactly the same as this one. So there won't be that much loot on it. Looks like we're on the edge of a Xerax territory as well. So I think we're just going to keep going south and see if we can pick up some mischief with the Xerax. Okay, I'm just going to keep low at the moment. And I suppose we got them and the performance boost off again. Right, it says there's two things to the south, which probably means we'll be flying into something that's quite hostile, and we'll be going through a lot of food here. And I suppose I should have I've gone drop a couple of steaks. Now, one thing you can do if you are in Xerax territory is use the terrain to sneak up on buildings. Right, we're in Xerax territory, and of course the mountains disappear as soon as I want them for cover. Wherever it is, looks like it's just there. So we're gonna... I found another crash capital vessel, and this is a... Right, we've now reached level 19. That crash capital... Because that's, in some ways, that's a bit of contradiction in terms, isn't it? That you got a crash vehicle inside of Xerax territory, and it's not actually guarded, or I don't think it is. I mean, we could come and loot it, but wow, there's crash capital vessels here everywhere. Yeah, I don't really want to loot that. We spent some time looting stuff. I'm just interested to see what here is. Well, it's saying that effectively... Right, there's a drone base there. Ah. Wow, that looks big. I don't recall... What is that? A lot of drones for a missile base. Keep away. That's got heavy weapons on it. I've tangled with missile bases before. Certainly not for this ship. But that would be a nice target if we had an armored HV or something like that. I'm just gonna drop down again and see what we can find. Sorry, this is a little bit boring, but I think you can see that operating in the northern hemisphere is a lot easier from a visibility point of view. Although there don't seem to be any ice columns here, so we're just going to keep going south and west. I think I'm probably flying a little bit too fast, to be honest. Right, there's drones over there. That looks like it could be another missile base. What I would really love is a supply center. Right, this is a radio space. I can't remember what the weapon situation with this is. I mean, we could do a fast flyby if we can draw some weapons fire. Yeah, there it comes. If you keep climbing, sometimes you can avoid it. Yeah. So we took a few whacks on the side. We found a sathium deposit. 2 drones on it. Okay. Let's see if we can have some fun with these 3 drones. Okay. A bit. And right. Get rid of the rocket drone first. And then shoot up the minigun drone as well. Got him. And again, this is all good XP. Got him. And what we're going to do is just level off. Actually, probably, if I'm going to be completely... If I'm going to be completely honest, I could probably do with some sathium. So maybe it'd be... Oh, there's an ice column down there as well, but... Looks like all 3 drones are together. Oh, yeah, looks like all 3 of them together. That's nice. Nice grouping. And just do a quick shift F. Looks like one's rendered already. No, it's not. It's still there. There's the ice golem. I'm going to be back for you. Don't worry. Ah. Is he able to destroy my drone? Okay. I want you for your pentaxid. And you're now toast. There's another one over there. They obviously travel in groups. So we're certainly gonna get in here. There's another one over there as well. Maybe they like Saphium. There we are. There's the pentaxid, refined pentaxid. That's exactly what I'm after. It's Saphium, isn't it? Yeah. What is it? How big's the deposit? Very large. Wow. Okay. That if you notice the number, that oh, you're meant to be dead. These are level 5 ice columns. Now I know some of you will say that did I get them? Some of you are going to say this is a particularly efficient way to collect pentaxid, and it probably isn't, but it's fun. I'll be honest that sometimes when I'm playing, the having fun is more important than min-maxing. I'm not one of the world's great min-max players on a good day. I'm more about just enjoying what I'm doing. Okay, where are you? Oh, there you are. Just F it. There, so we got 2 pentaxid that time. And of course, more importantly, get back in the ship and get a bit of height. And whoops. Just have a little bit of a sort out. And a controller. We're getting some Zarcosium as well, which is another reason why you want ice columns. And neodymium, and we got some magnesium ore. And this is all good stuff. And I've got some rockets. I just need a rocket launcher to go with it, and that can go in the ammo controller, which is another fringe benefit of. Actually, what we do need is I think we can put this. Oops. No, that's 23. I think we'll put the Saphium in here. And of course, we're going to double press tab so in case any drones decide to show up. It's going to charge straight down. There we are, we're straight into the Saphium. It's this yellow texture here. So what I'm going to do is mine out some Saphium here. This would be a good resource for when we go back to the starter planet. Probably want about 400 or 500 Saphium, I think, in ore. I'm just going to tidy up a little bit around here and pick up a little bit more Saphium. I think I've probably got enough to be going on with. We've got 535 and I've already made 320 ingots. You can see we're getting close to the volume here. So I think that's going to be it for the amount of Saphium that I need. I'm going to have a little bit of a spot check here. You can see the weights come back onto the ship. In fact, let's just have a quick check. And maybe we can add a big pile there so that it all gets converted. Right, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I've just noticed that, as usual, I'm going over time on this video. And in the next part, I think what we're going to do is make our way back to the starter planet via the moon to get some more pentaxid, because I didn't get anywhere near the amount of pentaxid I was actually planning on getting. Let's have a quick check. Can't even find any. There it is. We got 4. I was hoping for a little bit more than that, but we did get some rare resources. We got some more fusion cells. So in the next part, we're going to be off to the moon in this system, see if we can do a bit of exploration, get some more pentaxid, and then we'll make our way back to the starter planet and then shift the focus towards maybe fixing up the CV, and of course more importantly we're going to recover the SV and HV, and we're going to turn them into specialist attack ships. But this is where I'm going to leave it. Until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.